Hey, I'm Jeff and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show a plant that really isn't talked about much anymore, and I'm not too sure why, because look at these absolutely gorgeous leaves. So this is my fiddle leaf fig. The first part of the video is going to be about pruning and branching, and the second half of the video is going to be about how I care for this plant, as sometimes they can be a little bit tricky. I took these cuttings about 3 weeks ago, so I'm going to show basically an update or some results. So let's check it out. So this is another plant I haven't had in my videos for probably, I would say, at least 4 years. I really haven't done anything with it. So this is my fiddle leaf fig. I did some previous pruning and branching a number of years ago. But yeah, right now this year, so far this is all the new growth that it's gotten. You can see just how compact these leaves are. So what I want to do today is give it a good thorough watering, give it some fertilizer. I'm going to chop the top off so that it can promote further branching again. And then I can propagate these top parts. So the first thing I'm gonna do is just break up some of this soil. It'll definitely need a repot at some point. It's been quite a while. I'm just gonna break this up a little bit. I got taffy and pickles out here. And then I'm going to add some slow release fertilizer because this is definitely some old stuff. So, oops. Making a mess. Just gonna poke some holes in it, make sure all the water gets down to the base of the plant here. So probably in a month or so I will give it a larger pot, maybe a tub like that. So I'll be using this Osmocote outdoor indoor slow release fertilizer. I'm just gonna dump a bunch. It's like salt and pepper. Just dump it in, and then I'm gonna use my pencil to just mix it in, make sure it gets evenly distributed, and then I'm going to give it a good soaking here. So this is one of the first times this year that I've brought my plant outside with the garden hose, just because maybe like a week or so ago it was still just a little bit too cold to use the outdoor hose because the water was still pretty cold, so you definitely don't want to shock those roots. So I'm just going to spray off the whole plant. Just clean off those leaves, give it a good soaking, and then just water it in. So you can see I've made a cut here. It's branched out. I made another cut. It looks like, for the most part, every time I make a cut, it only branches out in one area. So I don't quite know where I'm going to cut it back yet. Maybe somewhere down here. See if we can get some double branches. Same with over here too. So I haven't had really good success with like multiple branches. Actually, this one right here. So I got a smaller branch, got one right there. So I might cut this one back again somewhere like this and just see how it responds. But I'm confident that it will definitely branch out wherever I make the cut. So I might actually cut it back quite a bit more aggressive this time. Probably should have showed this for reference, but I just want to show the difference in growth. So the way I have this positioned, whoops, lost my slipper. My Wally Grow is in the middle of this. This stem right here, or this branch, is in natural sunlight, and this one is under my new Bureno one. Look at all these new, gorgeous, beautiful leaves. Like, this one's absolutely perfect. So I got these big, meaty pruning shears. You can see right here, looks like there was a previous node. It lost its leaves or just never developed leaves. And there's a leaf just on the back side right there. So I'm going to cut just above that. So make sure I don't catch the leaf. Something like that, and snipperoo. Most times there'll be like a sappy white substance that pops out of this, as you can see, like that. Sometimes it can be irritating to skin, so you can use gloves or something like that. I typically don't. I'll just rinse it off here. But now I have this large cutting that I can set aside. I can make multiple cuttings from that, but I think I might actually just cut it here. I'm going to cut it maybe right here. And then I'll have this section, which I'll cut some of these leaves off, and then you can put this literally in a container of water. Pickles is crying. She wants her toy, but Taffy has it over there. Does she have your toy? I just use the crack in between these two boards just as a little stand. But if you don't want to do any like actual pruning, what you can do is just pinch this little top bud off. So literally grab it and twist it. This is the apical bud, or the apical dominance. You just snap that off and it will, I guess, redirect energy lower in the stem, and it will promote branching. So if you don't actually want to cut the plant and you just want it to branch out from kind of the highest point, just tear that little bud off right there. Now, just because I don't want these two branches to be the same height, I'm going to go a little bit higher and maybe somewhere in like that, get it nice and close and snip that off like that. So here's the super healthy one. Look at these gorgeous leaves, like just very vibrant green. It's got that little bud in there as well. I took off the lower leaves just so that I can place it in this container of water. I gotta wash that little vase out, but I'm going to put this in water. It'll grow roots, and then I can make another pot of this fiddle leaf fig. These are obviously coming back indoors. I'm not gonna leave them outside just because it gets a little cool at night still, but I'm gonna place this in my living room and watch for some new roots. So just gonna fill it up right to the top, clean off the leaves. Nice clean cut right there. So it should branch out from one of these nodes or maybe somewhere down here. I was contemplating cutting this one as well, but I think I'll leave it for now. I can always cut it back later. Now, despite what you see online, you can place these in water and they may grow roots, but it will never grow into a tree just because you need a portion of the stem. So it will not grow into a new plant. It might grow roots. So these are pretty much trash. I might actually give these to my daughter for some art projects. Now this one, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. So you can make individual nodes, like cut in between two leaves, like that. This will be a new plant. Cut in between two nodes, two leaves. There, so now I have a few other plants. Oh, here's another one. I'll cut that one right there. Here's another one. So I got 4 new ones. Well, this is what it looks like in its spot after the prune. This one, or this branch, gets light from an east-facing window, and this is the one that gets light from the Burena light right up there. So we'll check it out, or we'll check back in a couple weeks and we'll see how it does. It's now the first week in June. I tried to beat the rain. It's just sprinkling a little bit. I just want to show my little pond at the back here. Pond is right there. All the birds go in there, my ferns, absolutely gorgeous. But anyways, here's the plant. So this is the update so far. So within 3 weeks, we got this little bud starting to put out a leaf right there. This little nub right there, that is another growth point. And then I did see one right here as well. So from pruning this top branch, it has now produced 3 new growth points, and they're from each node. So the growth points, as you can see, will sprout just above the leaf at that node. That's a node right there. Now this long branch I chose not to cut in the first update, but I'm definitely going to cut it back now because, like, look how ridiculous this thing looks. So I'm going to grab the pruning shears and I'm going to cut it back to like right there, just above that node. So we'll snip that, and this I can put in that container of water right there. Now for this cutting, which I chopped the top on this one, it's getting an activation or a node activation right there. It's definitely not as far along as the other one. And I'm not too sure if there's a node. Yeah, it looks like there's a little bud kind of popping through there as well. So this one clearly has the advantage for new growth. It's pushing all its energy out to this one. I did fertilize it. It might need some water here again. The soil still looks pretty good. This thing's been in the same pot for like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. So like I said, I'm gonna have to repot it at some point, give it something a little bit larger, and refresh the soil. So even though I did add some slow release fertilizer. And as I turn it around to the back side, might be able to see some nodes a little bit better. Not really seeing anything else. So looks like maybe 2 nodes activated on this one, and 3, oh, there's a little baby leaf popping through, 3 on this one. So yeah, that's kind of the update with this. It does take quite a while. but you will see some results if you prune it at the proper time. So right now it is springtime, so that's when plants start pushing out more growth as they are photosynthesizing more. So spring and summer is the perfect time to prune these. If you prune it in the winter, then you might only get like one branch popping out. The growth of the plant is just slower. So that is today's update with this plant. Now let's move on to the cuttings. Like I said, this one right here, oh, I guess I should get my grow light out of the rain. Just put it over there for now. This one I'll put in water, but these ones, like, look how healthy they look. These leaves are gorgeous. So the plan that I have for these cuttings is I'm going to be putting one of these downstairs in my plant room. As you can see, there are no roots as of yet, but how they start is it builds this little kind of like calcium stuff, this little bit of a crust. It just kind of softens up the stem, and eventually the roots will pop out through the bottom. And same with this one. It's got that kind of calcium crusty stuff like that. So I'm not really seeing any, oh yeah, maybe right there. There you go. Maybe a little root kind of popping out there. So I have changed the water once. It's starting to rain more. I have changed the water once since putting it in this container. I might have to top it up a little bit more, but otherwise I just have it kind of off to the side of my south-facing window. I'm getting soaked. And my chimes. It's supposed to thunderstorm today. Now I'm just going to add some water. I just went in, got my watering can, going to top up the water here. Taffy snuck out. Now to the care of these plants. They're notoriously finicky, I guess you can say. Now, what I like to say in most of my videos is light is the most important thing. And in this case, I will say it is the second most important thing. The first important thing, or the most important thing, is just absolutely neglecting this plant. Sometimes, even if you look at it the wrong way, it's going to drop its leaves. But in all honesty, what it needs is consistent care. You can't keep moving it around. It needs consistent light, consistent watering. Yeah, otherwise it'll drop its leaves. So thankfully, over the last 4 or 5 years, this plant has never dropped all of its leaves. But even if it does, you can just prune it back and it will activate nodes. Now, what I wanted to do for this plant was actually like cut it back basically to a stump and then kind of let it regrow and train and that sort of thing. But yeah, just consistent care is what this plant needs. Now, light is just like with any other plant, it is extremely important. This is a fairly high light requiring plant. So I would say on the higher end of medium light, so maybe around 750 foot candles is ideal. This one is in an east facing window, so it gets some morning direct light. Plus it's underneath a Barena grow light. I do have a discount code in the description if you want to check that out as well. These plants do extremely well with grow lights for a couple reasons. One, it is consistent light. So obviously today it's quite overcast and cloudy, so you're not going to get that consistent sunshine when you have either trees blocking your window or cloudy days, that sort of thing. So grow lights provide consistent light. Plus you can put it on a timer. So I think I have mine set for 12 hours, maybe 13 hours. So consistent bright light throughout the day. It's summer all the time when you have a plant growing under a grow light. Here's the grow light that I placed a few months ago, and I'm just gonna put my light meter up to it, and it's getting about 1,000 foot candles right there. Here's that east facing window, so it gets some morning direct sunlight. It's getting about 700 foot candles, which is exactly what the higher end of medium light is. So this is a perfect spot for the plant. This is just kind of tucked away in the corner here, and it's getting consistent light for about 12 hours a day. Got both Pickles and Taffy here. She wanted to come outside. I don't have your toy. I know it's raining. It's no fun, but I do like a good thunderstorm. Hey? Yeah, you're a good girl. Now for the next thing, you just want to make sure that you have, I guess, a well-draining soil mix. This is just, what are you doing? This is a tropical soil, but I did add some extra perlite, and like you saw in the first part of the video, I did add some slow-release fertilizer. So those little round balls, those are fertilizer pellets, and every time you water, it just slowly leaches fertilizer down to the roots. So that's why you want to make sure, oh, I got some soil on your head. That's why you want to make sure that when you water a plant, you thoroughly water it so it comes out the bottom of the drain hole. I absolutely soak this one. Now, in my experience, they like to dry out. So I let mine get completely dry before I give it any water. Okay, now it's raining pretty good. I'm just stuck in this little cubby here, just underneath the roof. But sometimes it can be a little bit tricky to know when the plant completely dries out, especially when it's in a larger pot. Like you can stick your finger in, you know, the top 2 inches, but you can't put your hand all the way to the bottom. So I like to use this wood stick. Basically, you push it all the way to the bottom like that. Let it sit there for a second. Moist or wet soil will naturally stick to wood. So when you pull it out, if you see any dirt or soil on the wood, then you know that level of the soil. So you can see there's quite a bit of dirt. If it'll focus, you can see there's quite a bit of dirt on the stick. You can actually feel moisture from about here down. So from right here, you can see it is about 50% dry. So the top portion, there's no soil on it. The bottom portion, it feels damp and there's some soil. So I will probably let it get closer to like 80 or 90% dry, and then I will give it another good soaking. But in all honesty, I just let it get completely dry because I forget to water it. So I'm actually gonna push it out in the rain here a little bit. So really the care is fairly easy. Just provide consistent care. Another important thing is making sure you have drain holes in the pot. This is just a cheap plastic pot. I did drill some holes along the side as well as the bottom. You don't want any water sitting at the bottom. You don't want it waterlogged, otherwise you're going to get rotten roots. But that's pretty much it for care. So when you water it, just absolutely soak it. Give it a bright sunny spot. These plants grow in full sun in their natural habitat. You just have to acclimate it to those conditions, so they can tolerate high light, or they are a high light plant, but just make sure that you acclimate it to those conditions before you just throw it into full sun. But definitely give this plant a try. This is one of those plants that is definitely a statement piece. Like I said, I don't know why it's not really talked about anymore. You know, these were pretty much a staple in any plant shop. Now, I really haven't seen any for a while, but if you're wanting a large statement piece, you know, and you have good light, I would definitely suggest one of these. Oh, we're getting some big raindrops. There are smaller versions. There's the Bambino fiddle fig. It's a smaller dwarf version. It has smaller leaves, probably more of this size right here. If you don't have a lot of space for a large plant like this, then the Bambino is another good choice. And there's other varieties of ficus plants, but this has always been one of my favorites. I just can't get over these leaves. Like, they are gorgeous. I really haven't had any pest issues with this. I clean it off quite frequently, but I know these are prone to like spider mites and thrips and all that kind of stuff. But this one has actually been doing really well. Just kind of isolated in the corner of our dining room area. So I'm going to venture out in the rain and just show you my little pond real quick. I love this little thing. Bees and wasps and all kinds of bugs come in here. Birds will sit on these little stones. So I just got this little pond, just a little plastic shell. I added some stones and just some wood that I found at the lake. These keep coming back every year. I got my ferns and everything back here. These are the ostrich ferns. I got some lily of the valley flowers. It's looking pretty sweet back here. Okay. Thanks for watching. Appreciate all the support. Take care, everyone. Bye. Oh, and my jades are getting a good soaking here as well. I brought them out a couple weeks ago, and they are doing wonderful.